A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritvika Gupta. In tonight's episode, we explore two very niche sectors making an impact. First, we'll explore the growth of India's pet care market, and then we shift focus to cutting-edge food solutions. On the show tonight, I'll be first chatting with Vineet Khanna, co-founder Super Tales, and in the second segment, we'll be joined by Vikas Chawla, Managing Director and CEO of Compass Group India. Joining us now live is Vineet Khanna, co-founder Super Tales, who will be talking to me about the journey behind Super Tales' success and much more. Thank you so much for joining us, Vineet.
Hi Ritvika, thanks for inviting me to the show. It's a pleasure interacting with you as well.
Now, Vineet, the pet care market in India has seen significant growth over the last few years. What are the key opportunities and trends driving growth in India's pet care market today?
Well, there are a lot of factors impacting the growth of pet care in the country. The largest one being, a combination of rising disposable incomes, lowered fertility rates, and delayed marriages, for that matter. And all of this, all of us need some form of companionship, and pets become a very, very potent source for the same. That has led to a lot of adoption that has happened in the past. What has also changed in the very recent past is that the pet parents who are coming in into the category are younger. So that means it becomes their first responsibility in life. Your first responsibility is always special, your first bike, your first phone. So with that, the first pet is also, very, very special. And that's the shift happening from being a pet owner to a pet parent. So there is more involvement and there is a more discerning behavior towards their pet.
So then tell us, Vineet, what inspired you to start Super Tales back in 2021? Was there a particular moment or, insight that led you to recognize the gaps in the market?
Varun, Aman, and myself, all three of us have been pet parents. So when COVID happened back in 2020, we saw the problems of the ecosystem happening right from a pet parent perspective. We had to run from pillar to post, for one thing, buying the food for my pet somewhere, going to a different kind of a clinic, from another ecosystem. It was a very distributed and fragmented ecosystem, and there was lack of trust because we all being first time pet parents always are looking on and leaning on trusted pieces of information and guidance in our pet parenthood journey. That led us to understand that this is a reasonably large gap in the ecosystem. And we said there is no other better way to address this category by doing an ecosystem play. A play which takes care of all the primary needs of the pet parents, whether it is the, as we call the roti, kapda and makan of this category, which is the food, nutrition, supplies, etc. But on the other side, also taking care of the non-primary needs or the more softer needs of education and emotion. This is a very, very emotional category. So we said we'll build an ecosystem with love, which is based on trust, but it solves for this pet parent, this first time pet parents for all their transactional as well as non-transactional needs.
Last year, Super Tales raised $15 million in funding. Vineet, can you walk us through that process of raising that investment? What were the key factors that you think attracted investors to Super Tales?
I think pet care has been a category which has always sparked a lot of attention, especially more so in the last 4 to 5 years. The factors that I spoke about, growing pet population and almost, at a point of inflection in the country. So that is the first point why investors get excited about this category. The three of us had experience of building businesses in the past. So the execution and strategic mindset between the three of us came together, which worked in our favor while we were raising funds as well. And most importantly was our approach towards this category. It was not a piecemeal approach where we would either build only a pet food brand or only be a cat or only be addressing the healthcare category of the ecosystem. We were very sure that if in this country this category needs to be solved, it needs to be solved as a complete holistic one-stop shop.
Now, Vineet, Supertails has primarily operated online since 2021. Tell us what led to the decision to now expand to the offline segment.
So there are two ways to look about this, Ritvika. One is when we are building an ecosystem, we need to be present for the pet parent for what they need, when they need, and wherever they need. So that is one aspect of being able to solve for the unmet needs of the pet parents from our present ecosystem, which means taking care of the pet physically, being able to provide services like grooming, vaccination, which can only be done in person. That was one perspective of us diversifying into an online healthcare piece. The second perspective is also that the pet healthcare in the country is growing much faster than the overall size of the category. The reasons for that being much more involved pet parents, and secondly, the largest adoption happened during, or the impetus to the adoption happened during COVID. Now, these pets are going to get older. Their healthcare frequency of their healthcare issues is going to increase. That only means that we need to be present when their healthcare problems are there, and we need to be present across the channels taking care of them. The thing that worked in our favor, that we always had a healthcare piece in our offering from day one. We were doing online teleconsultations, and we became the largest online teleconsultation provider within no time, which clearly showed a need was there. And now we are just extending that need into another channel so that pet parents get what they want wherever they want.
So then tell us which markets are a priority for your offline expansion and what makes these regions the right fit.
So we're starting with Bangalore. Bangalore is the most pet-friendly city in the country. Obviously, our home ground as well. So that adds, a little bit lesser complexity than doing it somewhere else. We feel Bangalore, has a very, very high growth potential. So we are starting with one clinic we have launched, and we would be, launching two more clinics in Bangalore in the next quarter as well. We'll take a lot of learnings from here, understand what our proposition is, what more the customer, wants when we actually go out in the market. We always believe that businesses are built customer backwards. So we'll use these three clinics as a great learning, ground for us to decide what is going to be the next cities and what is going to be the next phase of expansion for this healthcare vertical of ours.
So Vinny, tell us more about Supertail's new offline clinics. I understand these are India's only clinics that follow innovative practices in vet care. How do they contribute to better care for pets?
So we had promised to each other that whatever new business offering we launch, it has to be 10x better than the average benchmark of the category so far. So as pet parents, and every pet parent would relate to this fact that no pet, likes going to a vet clinic. They're full of fear, anxiety, and stress because they're not in their own territory, and pets are very territorial animals. So we said, can we make this experience and we convert this into a stress-free experience? Can we make the visit to a vet cheerful, if not, very happy? So we said, we researched about this, and we understood about a practice called fear free. Now, fear free is a practice wherein the environment for the pet is built in such a way that their fear, anxiety, and stress is taken care of. From small things like grip-enabled floors to pheromone diffusers, which ensure calm, and the smallest of things with respect to the color palette being used so that pets feel calm about it. All of this has transpired into a fear-free experience. All of our professionals and vets in the clinic are fear-free certified. It takes a lot of effort and investment in making this kind of an offering, to our pet parents.
So what do you think are the biggest challenges in the pet healthcare sector, and how does one tackle them?
The challenges, what I would say is that the first thing is that almost 80% of the, pets have never visited a vet. And, more less than 15 to 20% of the pets in the country have had access to, medicines or vaccinations. Now that comes from the point I spoke about, is that pet parents don't feel comfortable because of the stress of their pet, and they tend to avoid certain situations, saying we will manage this at home itself. If we can offer an experience which is completely fear and stress free, we are not just solving for the issues that the pet parents and the pets have, but we are also creating a category which is saying we the pet parents can bring their pets, not for just issues which exist, but for preventive health as well.
And finally, Vineet, tell us what is the road ahead for Supertails in the next 5 to 7 years?
I think we Supertails should resonate with the word pet parenthood. In the future, that's the long term vision. From the thought of having a pet to eventually when the pet is no more, we should be able to help the pet parent in all these stages of the pet's life cycle. In that, we will need to solve a lot more than what we are already doing. Hence, we continuously expand our offerings. Some of them we'll do ourselves. Some of them will take help of the present infrastructure in the category to make it accessible to the pet parent. But the end result that we aim to achieve is that pets lead a much healthier, happier, and longer life.
Thank you for speaking to us, Vineet. This was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much, Ritvika. Thanks for having me on the show. Really enjoyed the interaction.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In this segment, we are putting the spotlight on Compass Group India, decoding how they are transforming food experiences across sectors like workplaces and education. Listen in. I'm now joined live by Vikas Chawla, Managing Director and CEO of Compass Group India. Welcome to the show, Vikas.
Thank you, Ritvika. Thanks much for having me on the show.
Vikas, can you provide an overview of the hospitality and facility management industry in India? Where are the biggest opportunities do you see for food solutions?
Ritvika, food service and hospitality overall in industry, as an industry, is a growing space in India. In fact, a significantly growing space in India. It's close to about an 86 odd billion dollar industry today, which is likely to go to about 140 billion in the next 5 years' time. So the growth rate is high. It's doing well. It's an expanding market, driven by the fact that India overall is growing. Consumers are consuming a little bit more. There's a lot of health consciousness also beginning to play in. So people are gravitating towards options which are people who are delivering them food, which has a concentration of food safety as well. So great tasting nutrition is in the center and fore today. And if you look at the facility management industry in India, that's again a very sizable industry. It's close to about $160 billion. It's expected to reach over $225 billion in 5 years' time. So again, growing very significantly, and a space which we play in and are very excited about as well. Yeah, I mean, in terms of drivers to the industry and why we are beginning to see this growth, my feel is there are two things which are definitely working very heavily in favor. One is, as you're aware, there's rising health consciousness in India. And that's not necessarily only in tier one cities. I think every Indian today is thinking about health and nutrition. That's a very big thing which is happening. From a corporate perspective, I think the idea of sustainability is also beginning to be able to drive the growth towards players like us.
How does Compass Group India ensure tailor-made food solutions across diverse sectors? If you could take us through the process of, menu creation, customization, is there a dedicated team, including chefs or culinary experts involved in, crafting these tailored experiences?
See, one of the things we take deep pride in, Ritvika, is the fact that we have a very client-centric approach. So, our programs are very bespoke. We focus on really and truly understand the client's needs and then tailor our programs accordingly. I mean, if we go into, say, healthcare and hospitals, we focus largely on nutritionally optimized meals, which are aligned very much with the clinical guidelines as well. If we take an example of education, then we look for balanced meals which promote both cognitive skills and physical well-being as well.
And how are you addressing the logistical challenges, such as managing supply chain and ensuring seamless, service delivery across a vast and diverse market, especially like India?
We have a robust and agile supply chain. Not that we can't do better. My sense is we could get even better at this. But we have nearly 1,500 suppliers, vendors across the country, which ensure consistent supply and, of course, compliance with the highest food safety standards, with the FSSAI standards as well. We leverage technology in pretty much everything we do, and that's true for our supply chain as well. And we are now increasingly building strategic partnerships so that we play better on this one and we minimize the disruptions that can come out of supply chain challenges. So we become preferred customers for them. We, of course, we are one of the larger buyers in this industry. So suppliers love to be able to work with us. We treat them well, and while we are building some strategic partnerships, but I would like to believe that all our vendors and suppliers consider us truly valuable partners as well.
Now, as the largest contract food service company in Europe ahead of Sodexo, how is Compass Group India leveraging its global expertise to adapt its service delivery models in the competitive Indian market, to meet the growing demand for high quality, efficient and customer-centric experiences?
I think one of the big things we leverage, by the way, our group, Compass Group across the world, to be able to learn from them and bring the best service delivery into India. We have a very focused, data-driven approach. We utilize, as I'd mentioned, global data and insights to understand evolving customer preferences, and we tailor our offerings accordingly. We have a deep focus on innovation. So we are constantly exploring and implementing innovative solutions. We also use AI to be able to guide us. And this is a developing area. We have a food tech company, which was a startup which we acquired some time back called SmartQ, which is housed out of Bangalore with a couple of brilliant founders who are guiding the way for us in terms of tech and AI, in terms of our service delivery as well.
Can you discuss your approach to cafeteria digitization in workplaces? And you spoke about SmartQ, so I would just like you to elaborate a little bit on that. How does SmartQ technology enhance the overall dining experience for employees, in SMEs and large enterprises as well?
Yeah, great question, Ritvika. So we are truly proud of SmartQ. And, this is a bunch of great young folks who are basically focused on delivering seamless digital experiences. SmartQ offers contactless dining, digital payments, real-time menu updates, and they enhance convenience and deliver efficiency. I mentioned that they deliver AI-driven insight. They use AI-driven insights and analytics to be able to track consumption patterns as well, helping the business to be able to optimize food offerings and also to reduce waste. Uh, it also helps us in a very big way to deliver personalized dining experiences.
And what about in the education sector? How are you curating institutional cafeteria experiences? Which institutions are you collaborating with, and how do you make these spaces more inspiring and engaging?
We do tailored nutrition programs, really. So, customized meal plans which are designed to meet the nutritional needs of students, uh, focusing on delivering balanced diets to them and building healthy eating habits for them, which hopefully they can carry through life with them. We collaborate, to your point of which institutions we are working with, we collaborate with leading institutions like the IITs, the IIMs, some leading private universities, where we ensure that they get world-class dining services. We have a deep focus on hygiene and safety, which we take a lot of pride in, with stringent adherence to FSSAI guidelines. We have regular audits and compliance checks to maintain top food safety standards.
Finally, tell us, what is the road ahead for Compass Group India?
One is being able to consistently serve up great tasting nutrition across workplaces, uh, across hospitals, across schools, universities, events, wherever we go. We'd like to be super consistent on serving up great tasting nutrition and and really tailoring our offerings to client needs. We have had a great track record of growth, by the way, across the last few years, and we'd like to continue on that journey. We truly believe India is a market which is a North Star market for us. Um, from a growth perspective, we'd like to grow at 2 to 3 times the industry rates, and I think that's very much possible given what we've experienced across the last couple of years. Uh, we'd also like to grow our support services business manyfold in the next few years. The other focus areas that I can see and where we'd like to go and we can truly add value is uh, with that fulcrum of great tasting nutrition. I think it's super relevant in terms of healthcare, where we can actually help patients recover faster. So it can be, it can be a great driver. And in educational institutions, we'd like to be able to help India build a better future.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Vikas. It was good speaking with you.
Ritvika, very nice talking to you, and thank you for having me on the show.
And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.